It's another day. Ooh, my thing slipped out of my hand. Sorry, y'all. This is my favorite time of the day. My time to get involved with God's word and see exactly what I need to know as a student. Who am I? My name is Brenda, and why am I here is because I want to know more about what did God really say. I heard about him and I said, I'm like Sheba, the queen of Sheba. I just want to come and sit before the king and say, what I hear about you and what I hear, I need to know for sure what you really said and who are you? And that's who I am today. My name is Brenda, and I am simply a student of the Word of God. I'm a child that's coming to class, just want to know, what did you say? I heard what you said, but I want to hear it for myself. And Father, I come before you this morning or this afternoon with the same hunger that I have had for quite some time, and that is to know exactly who you are, what you said, and how you want things done. I thank you for your wisdom. I thank you for your understanding. I thank you for being the greatest teacher I've ever heard. I heard about you, and now I want to be a part of your class, and you have allowed me to become a student. And thank you that when you call your roll, you found me on your list. And I thank you that I am not bringing anybody in here. I'm not bringing any relatives. I'm not bringing any friends. I'm not bringing any enemies. I'm coming to you as a child, and I really want to know, how do you see things and how you think, so that I can line my life up with the best teacher that I know. And God knows I know a good teacher when I see one. And you are absolutely a good teacher. Thank you, Father, for everybody that is... I pray for everybody. I pray for the people that I come in contact with. Maybe they may come in contact with somebody else, but let it just be that, hear my prayer, Lord. Hear the prayer that cries out from where I am. You have positioned me. And may I be a blessing to somebody, Lord. May this word not come across as an enemy to anybody. But just in case somebody hears it wrong, may somebody hear it the way that you intended it for it to be heard. Thank you for your wisdom, and thank you for your insight in this understanding of chapter 17 of 2 Kings. Thank you for forgiving me of my sins, and help me to forgive those who have sinned against me. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm in 2 Kings chapter 17. All right, a little bit about chapter 16. What did I learn from chapter 16? Is that the children of Judah, Ahaz, he just decided that he's not going to follow God's instructions. And when we don't follow God's instructions, we get the people that we lead in trouble. And what's the last thing that happened? In Ahaz and King, verse 17 of 16. And King Ahaz cut off the borders of the bases. In other words, he decided that what God had in order, that he wanted it done differently. So he told the priest, what's his name, Uriah? He said, I want you to make things look different, because I went down to the enemy of God, and I like the way their worship look, and I want, since I'm the king and God has given me the right to be called the one in charge, I like his better. So I'm going to bring the way it looks in the enemy's house, said Ahaz, and I want to change things around. We're just going to rearrange it. We're not going to get rid of anything. Well, I did take the money to pay the guy. Took it from God and paid the guy. Keep him from beating me up. But as far as I'm concerned, I just want to be renovated. And so renovate God's temple and make it look like I want it to look. And then after he did his renovation, the word says, now the rest of the acts of Ahaz, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? So we'll find out more about what happened in Chronicles concerning this guy named Ahaz, with a Z on it. And Ahaz died, and he was buried with his fathers in the city of David, and Hezekiah, his son, reigned in his stead. So now we have We are in 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. And his son Hezekiah reigned in his stead. So we won't see Hezekiah until we won't see Hezekiah in this chapter here. So now this is where God is saying that I am finally getting ready to check somebody in today. And he is going to be checking in on the northern kingdom. Yesterday we looked at the southern kingdom of Ahaz. And the camera is rolling on the northern kingdom, and there's a phone call coming in. Yeah, could you send in Ahaz? Okay, Ahaz is in the 16th chapter, is no longer here. So could you send in? Now, how long was Ahaz the king? In the 12th year, while he was still alive. Okay, we're going to talk. Yeah, send in Hoshea. I want to investigate what's going on with him. 2 Kings 17. We're going to investigate Hoshea. So as soon as you get in, call me and let me know that he has entered the room, because we need to talk, see what's going on with him. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. So while we are waiting on Hoshea to come in, let's talk a little bit about who he is. So when he pops in, you kind of know who this guy is. He's going to take the witness stand today. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, in the northern kingdom, this guy named Hoshea, the son of Eliah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. Oh, he's here? Okay, hold on. Excuse me, y'all. Hoshea, is this you? All right, I want you to come in, and we're going to go over some things that they said you did, and want to make sure that what happened to you, so these people can know exactly what's going on. All right, okay. Hey, Levi's, I can't pronounce that, but anyway, thank you for joining us today. All right, so Hoshea takes the stand, and he's sitting while we're going to go over his record. And you going to tell the truth, Hoshea? Well, if you don't tell the truth is right here, because God gave me a copy. Thank you for, have a seat. Thank you. All right. According to the documents that I have, Hoshea, okay, I see you out there. Thank you. Y'all, everybody can have a seat. Thank you. And according to the document of 2 Kings 17 chapter, this is what they said about you, Hoshea. And you did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. Now, according to the record, you are a king, right? You're the king of Israel. And you were assigned, and you reign 9 years, right? Okay. According to the record that God left, he said that you did evil in the sight of the Lord. But, however, you were not as bad as the other kings in Israel that were before you, right? All right, so we know that you are king for 9 years, and God says, okay, you were a bad king now. You just wasn't evil. You were evil, but you just weren't evil. Is that right? Okay. Against him came up. So somebody came up against you. Hoshea. Who was that came up against you? Against you came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria. So you got an enemy. You know, Assyrians don't care nothing about life, period. And you being a king, somebody came up against you, didn't you? They gave you a hard time. Okay, what you do? And Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents. So you bought the man some presents. You gave him gifts. This is how you thought the best way to do it is to pay somebody off. I got a question for you, Hoshea. Now, according to what you know that you know now is that the Lord is your shepherd, and you understand that being a shepherd, that means He's the keeper of the sheep, and you a king, but you ain't the shepherd. Why you ain't call upon the shepherd? But now let's just see what you really did. You didn't call upon the shepherd because the word said you were evil king. See, when you're not evil, you will call on the shepherd because you stay in your place as a sheep. All right, so Assyria came up against you, Hoshea, and you became his servant. And according to you, in your records, it states that that means that you had to pay him off. You were his servant. So it's like the mafia. I'm going to protect this city, and you got to pay me. You got to pay me in order for me to make sure nothing happens to you. Oh, I'm crooked, but I know a crook when I crooked. I know a crooked crook when I see one. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. So Assyrian said, you need to pay me. And he said, okay, I'm pay you. And then, yeah, how you doing? Yeah, this is Mafia King Assyria. What's up? He doing what? Oh, let me get that right. Hoshea. Is that how they say the name? Hoshea? The guy that I got already paying me? Oh, okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, all right, thank you. That's a phone call to the king of Assyria. What did the king of Assyria find out? And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea. You mean to say you paying me and you doing something behind my back? And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea. For he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt. You've been going behind my back. And you know I don't play right. You know I got informants. I got people that tell me everything that you do. And you've been sending letters and texts and getting on social media, and you've been talking to the King So, S-O, King So of Egypt. Oh, we don't play nothing like that. Oh, no, we don't do stuff like that up in here. And I noticed that when I checked my account, you behind a few payments. It look like you behind a few. A lot of payments. So you ain't been paying me in the last year. Oh, you thought I wasn't gonna catch up with you? So you've been sending you said, and brought no present to me, Assyria, as you have done by year, you know you got to pay me. Therefore the king of Assyria said, come get this man out of my sight. Get him out of my sight. Hosea, that what happened? I know I reckon God got this ready. And he shut you up and bound you in prison. What do you mean by shut you up? You ain't even talking to nobody. You're going to be in, what they call the word? Consolatory confinement. You're going to be all by yourself. I'm going to shut you up. And then I'm going to bound you in prison. I'm going to lock you, put something on your hand. Man, king, I'm a king. You a king. Now who you going to rule now? I got you under me. You are under the Assyrians' government, and my eyes are on you. You're going to be true. Shut up. Locked down. But we're going to go and let Miss Bruna go and talk and see about what happened after that. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land. Now we got the king down pat. What is God doing? We're going to find out. God just giving us a preview of what happened. You ever been to a movie where they let you know the end and then they come back and show you how they got to the end? That's what God going with this writer, this God. This is God. If you are a movie producer or a playwright, bring the people in and show them what the end was. Like Jesus said, I'm going to give you the word and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you how you got the word. So right here, God is rolling out this thing like, I'm telling y'all what happened to old bro, Hoshea. Call himself a king. I told y'all, y'all brothers. But since y'all want a king, we put a K-I-N-G as long as it ain't capitalized. Then the king of Assyria came up through all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. So king of Assyria woke up, got the king down. Oh yeah, we got the king down. I tell the soldiers, I said, go and stand around what he used to be king. I don't care how long it takes, because they got that thick wall that's between us and them. We ain't going to go in and blowing up stuff, because we go in and blow up too much stuff. We're going to kill up some of the stuff that we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to besiege them. We're going to watch them for 3 years. They're getting weak, because can't nobody come in. Walmart not coming up in there. Nope, nope, nope. They ain't coming out. Oh, what's the population know that they're dying? Ain't? We're just going to watch them. After a while, we got the king. We just watching the city. And we got time. So it's about 2.5 years. Okay. All right. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and did what? In the 9th year of Hoshea, 9 years, the king of Assyria took his time up. Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Harbor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes. So in other words, he said, I got the king, now I got all the king's men. I got the whole city, excuse me, y'all. So what he did was, Hoshea, and am I right? Now you correct me if I'm wrong. What happened was, I got the king, and then I watched the city, and I watched them for 3 years. And then after the 9th year of Hoshea being king, I went in there and grabbed all his people. You want to know why I got it? Because God said that's how the movie opens. And God is going to explain his own story about what happened. Well, Lord, may we ask you a question? What happened? Yes, you may. And the Lord is saying this. He said, because this is what had happened. Is God talking? For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against me, their God. Is God talking? Wouldn't do what I said do. I brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. In other words, I saw you in a place that somebody called me and said, Lord, have mercy. And I said, I will. And I raised up that young boy named Moses after he went through all of that just to get to you. And when he finally got to you, I spoke to that young man, and he had the leader Pharaoh to back off. But I moved little by little. I didn't go in plunging things. I let this happen. I sent this plague. I did this. What was I doing? I was trying to get your attention. So what am I trying to tell Brenda and them in 2021? That when I make a move, watch me move in what I did then. Because nothing is new in 2021 that was not going on here. Because I'm leaving this, as Jesus said, take my yoke and learn of me. Go see what happened so you can understand if you're doing what they did, you got time to make adjustments. So I sent a plague here, and then I sent another plague, and they wouldn't listen. And see, it wasn't so much the people were not listening, the king was not listening. Or the person in charge, the Pharaoh, the one that was running things. So he was not listening to me. So I just had to keep on saying, I'm really trying to get you to change your mind, man, because you're going to understand when you get ready to go. But anyway, so God said, I brought you, we're getting back to brother Hoshea and the whole community of the northern kingdom. How'd y'all get locked up by the Assyrians? He said, brought them out of Egypt, led them with an outstretched arm, and they would not, and walked in the statutes of the heathens. They got over here to the promised land, all that time I spent with them, being the teacher myself, and they got them to the land I promised Abraham that they would get to, and they lost their minds. And they got there, and I told them, I said, now y'all consider y'all coming from the country, going to the city, so you're going to see a lot of stuff. Don't go in there and start acting like them folk. But you wouldn't listen to me. And walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel. In other words, I told you to go get rid of all them people that wasn't going to follow instruction, but now you don't start acting just like them. And I said, before the children of Israel and the kings of Israel, which they had made. Let me read that again. And walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel, which they had made. He said, you went in there and did everything that the folk that I told you go clean up their house, and then when you got in there, you started doing just what they did. And the children of Israel did secretly. What do you mean? Secretly in front of who? They did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God. You came up with a plan and you thought I couldn't see it. It's like you put some seed in the ground and then you hid it, but you didn't understand that whatever you planted gonna grow up. God said, I'm a God that sees in the dark. God said, I know the secret you were planning before you thought it was a secret. And I looked up the word secret just to see if it had another definition, because I just could not believe that anybody can think that you're doing something secretly before God. So I said, it must mean something else. Because I do know the word said if two men get to fight and the wife come in and help her husband and she grabbed his secret part, her hand had to be cut off. That was some laws that God had given Moses to tell the people, said, tell that woman, don't you ever touch anybody else's private part. You got a husband. So I thought maybe secret meant something else. I said, because it can't mean like you just trying to hide something. But guess what it was? You're trying to hide something. It didn't change its meaning. And he said, and the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord, their God. And after they did stuff in the secret, you're already doing some stuff that you think don't nobody know. That's bad enough. You're doing stuff that you hope don't nobody find out. He said, that's bad enough. And then they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced cities. And so you went big time. You have totally lost your mind. First you were doing things you were trying to hide, but then you got beside yourself and then you started going big time. In other words, first you was selling, you were killing babies and didn't nobody know it. But then you got big. You said, I'm going to make a law out of it. First you were just kind of messing around with the girls and nobody knew about it. But then you got big. The little girl got big. We do all these things in 2021. But God says, I have it recorded in 2 Kings 17. You got found out. Because I'm telling Brenda and them how all y'all got locked up. Now we're going back in history to find out how did the king get locked up and then the people got locked up. Where the people got taken. Because he didn't lock them up because he said, I need somebody to mow my yard. I need somebody to cook my bread. I need somebody to have my babies. I'm going to use these people. And God is saying, I've been with y'all all this time. I brought y'all in 200 years ago from Egypt. Took me 400 years. Okay, I started 400 years, came pick you up. You've been in there 400 years. You cried out to me and I got you. Then 40 years, we got you to the place that I want to bring you into. And then after you got there, let me see. I think and then you got 400 years, you went through Judges, and then you went through Joshua getting everything straight. And then you went through Judges, and then I sent all of that. And then from all of that, then when you start calling yourself a king, I let you run as a king by 200 years. That's like 600, it's 1,000 years on went by since the first time I saw you with my eye and I brought you out of Egypt. And I personally made you my class of elite students so that what? You can come back and I can show you how to go and be a light to everybody to tell them how good I am. But you came in there and got caught up with stuff. And then pronounced that you wanted a king, and I was trying my best to tell you, oh, you don't need no king. So I just been sitting there waiting on you to just turn and turn. And the more I wait, the more wicked you become. And now Brenda them got to sit up there and read about what had happened. I'm going to tell the truth. Because if they doing this, they're going to get the same thing. Anyway, he said, but you done got big time. You done got you all over the internet. You all on, even during the corona, you still ain't changed. You still waiting on me to move it. That's what you do. Come to think of, that's what Pharaoh thought. This too shall pass. We'll see. And they set them up images. He said, this is what you did. You went to the high tower and you got your big name out there and you set up images and you got gods that's not me. And you got so many churches, which is so ridiculous. What verse we on? Verse 10. I got a question. Let me pause right there. If I ask you, if I get 10 people and say, if somebody came to you that wanted to meet God, and they got a book called the Book of God, of the Wisdom of God, or the Word of God, or the Bible, and you've been in, quote, go somewhere, church somewhere, and you carry this, and they so interested, what book they interested, they really want to know. I want to read this book. Where should I start? I bet if I ask 5 people, or maybe 10, what would you tell them? Where would you start? I asked my son it this morning. I said, if somebody came to you and asked you, since you say you believe this book, but you really don't read it, I'm just saying that. You know that it contains truth because you've been pulling some grapes off the vine. And they ask you, so where do you start? And then you start, I hear my son talking. And he said that I would tell them to go into the New Testament and get the gospel. I said, you know what, that's okay, I hear you. Hold on one second. Matthew, can you close your door? Matt. Thank you. I hear some noise in the background. But anyway, he said he would start in the Gospels, get the people to find out who Jesus is. He said, get them a good picture of who Jesus is. And I had to receive his answer because that's the first name that I heard about was Jesus. And I said, okay, let's just say you get somebody and they come in and they talk about Jesus. And we get them the advertisement to come in. And that drew you, and you got a good portrait of the things he did, and it made you, and Jesus made it clear. How, since God has given all these pages, is it necessary to know these pages? Or should we just take Jesus and just, go with it? This is my response to that. Jesus said, come here. All y'all doing all that religious stuff, you're laboring. Come in and you that labor and rest. And I'm going to give you that rest. And then I want you to take my yoke, the thing that they got that you yoke up, or I'm going to take you the thing that, take my yoke, the thing that I'm going to put on you. And I want you to do what? Learn of me. Where did I get started? In the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth. I started here. Where did I end? I end on Revelations. The last word I said was in Revelation 22, verse 21. The grace of the Lord our Jesus Christ be with you. Amen. So, because most of us don't know where to start, we just don't do it. But what we have to do is, if we are introduced to God and he's been advertised and he is attractive, Jesus is God in the flesh. Now he's saying, go see what happened, that I had to show up, because all these people that my father taught, and they went to he said, this is the highest university you can go, is when the father is the teacher. He said, but since they didn't listen, because what happened here in chapter 17 so far, and I'm on verse 10, is they flunked. You got the king messed up, and you got all that land that God gave them. From the moment 200 years after they had started making kings, when God told Moses, and then through Samuel, he said, you don't need no king. You don't have to have nobody to make you not lie. You don't have to have nobody, no human being to put locks and chains on you to sleep in the bed that's assigned to you. He said, I got to, other words, don't be like these folk that Jesus said, learn of me, because I'm the one that's speaking. And the people were the one not listening. When you found a righteous king, Jesus said, he had called me. He said, Father, what do you want me to do? And Jesus said, I got this dad. And then he started talking to him. But let's see what happened, because Israel is in trouble. All right. Verse 10. And he said, this is what you did to get yourself in trouble. And you set you up images. You got a church over here and a church over there and a church there, here, church everywhere. Oh, in trouble people. You got churches. He said, but you don't even, if somebody asks you how to use the word, I really want y'all to say the same thing, because it's that easy. It's easy. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill. In other words, these folks say, I ain't trying to hide how I think. I want members to be a part of what I do. And I can have a church right. I've been to a place where I seen a church just like this. They were side by side. And I got a gap in there. This church might have been painted that color, and the other church might have been painted that color. They was right by there. Neither one of them was opening the book. But they had members. And people ain't playing. People get serious. People get serious. If I tell you that your mama lied to you, you almost want to choke me. But I'm going to put your mama on this side. I'm going to put my mama on this side. And I'm going to take myself being a mama, put myself on this side. And I'm going to let God be over here. Let everybody, all of us, be a lie. And let God be true. Finally, let God talk. Because what your mama said, with all of her good intent, is a lie if it didn't come from God. And they set them up images and groves and high hills and under every green tree. He said, yeah, we come up there. Oh, that sounds like a palm tree to me. I mean, it must have been some good land. Like, we got to go where it's attractive. We want to put it where it's 24/7 that we think like this. These are the people that God led. These are the people that had no reason to be misled. And there they burnt incense and all. God, I'm just trying to tell you how they got locked up by the Assyrians. Oh, I'm done with them. 200 years, I'm done. I'm talking about Israel, the 10 tribes of what was left and wouldn't change. And there they burnt incense in all high places. In other words, I got to do something to draw you to me. And incense is something like, what's that smell? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? As did heathen. God said, you don't need me if you're going to copy off a man. A heathen is a person that don't come to me. And now you're doing what they do? Hosea, let me speak to you. Hosea, you still there? Yeah, you still there. You still locked up. What you crying for? Because all the people locked up. Who you think led them? I'm just telling people what you did. What's your number? What's your prison number? You can't see because it's too dark. Because they'll cut all the lights off you in that maximum security. Okay. Anyway, understand it. Okay, I ain't gonna be bothering you. Okay. All right. Leave me alone. And there they burnt incense in the high places and did as the heathens whom the Lord carried away before them. I brought you in here and told you get rid of all them heathens, and then you came in and did exactly what they did. How we get like that? How do we start doing what other people do? How is it that I brought you out of Egypt where you didn't want to be? Went through a lot of stuff to get you there. And then when I tell you, don't be like them people, then you get right there, you just like, what you thought I was going to do? I told Moses, tell you in writing, if you come in and act like them, you'll get the same thing they got. He said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snatch this land right from under you. Ain't got time to be playing with you like that. And they burned incense in all the high places, as did the heathens whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger. What kind of things was it? What did they do? Then God said, tell them, brother. I'm trying to let them know what they did. So we cannot do this stuff. For they serve idols, whereof the Lord hath said unto them, you shall not do this thing. What's America big time thing now? What's on the social media big time? What I got to do to pull all of this down and just let you see the private parts of my body that's only supposed to be revealed to the man that I said I do according to the word of God? Do you not know that was a God? It's called, her name began with an A, and I don't know, Aster. I know it was Aster or something. And her image was, she had a big chest and a little bit of skinny body. And sex sells. Grandmamas, one of them king's grandmamas had her little sex toy. He said, well, they served other idols, and we serve idols every day. Every time we turn on a channel where they just you can't holler, you got to lock that door. I'm letting nobody walk in and catch me doing this. We're serving idols. Why are you serving idols? Pay for it. Let your cable run in there. Buy the book. Get on social media and pay that money to get somebody to tell you what you know they lying, but it feel good. And then we get movie stars, and these girls get this little thing, and then they open up their sex toys, and now they fighting on the media talking about too many people sleeping in the same bed at the same time, and somebody. This is what they were doing. He said, you serve that. You serve that. That means that's what you supply. This is what, come on in, have a seat. Well, how can I serve you? You want rated G? Or do you want my eyebrow rated? You know what I'm saying? You know, oh, I know you're a regular. See, once we get into that type of industry, the world has to come up with, because at one time, the world has to come up with something to take you just a bottomless pit. That means that there is no bottom. There's nothing that you can get, because they got to drop it down a little bit lower and drop it down a little bit lower, because now they got you where you get normal, and they say, oh, you need something else a little bit deeper. And you drop it, and you drop it, and you drop it. And then after a while, we're going to make a law saying it's all right to do it. Because we used to kiss our dog at home, but now we marry our dog and put him on the internet and invite you to the wedding. We ain't doing nothing new. Let's go with the word said. What did they serve? You serve idols, stuff that's just wasting time. That's an idol. Anything that cannot produce anything is idol. And I'm not just talking about the word I-D-L-E. I'm talking about I-D-O-L, idols. Sleeping with a doll and pretending it's a woman. And telling your kid, don't you dare go in my bedroom. I got all kind of bolt locks on that thing. But then you died. And somebody had to come clean up your remains. And they find you'd have been on Amazon. And you had you a doll that looked like she had, different furry parts on her and made you feel like you sleeping with a woman. Because you don't treated your wife so bad until she too tired. And she ain't attractive no more. So you go buy you a doll or a toy. And then you go out there and shake somebody's hand and say, can I use your phone? And you've been playing in all this body fluid. And you pass that. Anyway, let's get back to the word. For they serve idols, wherefore the Lord has said unto them, God told me, I ain't talking about no, he said, y'all wasn't. He said, I wasn't talking about no microphone. This idol was not the microphone or thing like this. You really was into that thing where even when I held that microphone, looked like I could have used that to tell you something. But anyway, he said, you're doing some real stuff. You're doing some stuff that's really engaging. And it's got Hollywood just waiting on the next ship to bring in the next shipment. Because the harlot of Hollywood is let me tell you something. Let me tell you how attractive sin is. When Jesus took John to the level to show him in the book of Revelation, the angel had to bump John. When John saw the prostitution of what the world had been doing, because he hadn't seen it from a distance from that sight that he saw it how God sees it. That angel had to tell John, bump John, what you doing? What you marveling at? That thing was so attractive until John, the one that wrote the book of Revelations, eyes did like that. He said, what you looking at, John? What you marveling at? John, he had to bring John right there in the midst of writing the book of Revelation. That's how attractive sin is. So don't think sin is something that, the industry, idols don't play. Idols are not playing with us. They're seducing the church. The only people that God had to represent him got seduced by the industry. You know we like pretty presidents. We don't want no unattractive president. We love people that look good. They look good. Oh, he looks so good. We fall in love with the image of a man on TV, and we ain't never met him. Oh, I'm going to this movie because sex sells. It sells. Oh, you get a church and you got a fine pastor. Oh. Bree, you come to church tonight? Good, I'm sitting on the front row. That man, please don't tell me he mad. Please, I was already praying before I got there. And he could sing too. Ooh, ooh. Good, don't tell me married. Did you tell me married? I want to hear. He can't be married. I don't care for you. Pay my tithes. I need me a sexy pastor. Because if I can't have nobody, at least when he look at me, it just does something to me. I know he want me. I'm just saying. Did what these folk did. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets. He said, right going on right here. 2 prophets I know is prophesying to these people trying to tell me, y'all better stop this crazy stuff. You had Isaiah and you had the prophet Micah. When we get in the book of Chronicles and we get in the book of Isaiah, we get in the book of Micah, you're going to find that they were living during the time with the exile. Why they were being arrested and removed from the land that God said was yours, but I'm going to evict you. 200 years I played around. I didn't play around, but I allowed you out of my mercy. Why? Because I'm trying to tell 2021, I'm coming back again. And if you found in the same sin, you can't afford it because I gave you a book that they didn't have. You got the promise. You got the king that I preserved just so you can get it because that's how bad I want you. But if you get caught up with the same sin, woe unto you. Yet the Lord testified against Israel, my people, brought out my prize. He said, I don't run with nobody. Ask Brenda, I don't play. I don't play with her. And against Judah, by all the prophets and all the seers, I talk to you saying, turn ye from your evil way. Stop this. Stop it. Why do believers, the ones that's called by my name, why are you watching the same thing unbelievers watch? Why you sleeping with the same men that you sleeping with the same unbeliever the unbeliever sleeping with, and they can't believe that you sleeping with them. You sleeping and doing to them the same thing that they get anywhere, but they think it's sexier because you're a man of God. Because they get some forbidden fruit. Even the world don't even, some things the world say, I wouldn't even do that. I mean, I ain't gonna even cross no line and do that. But y'all come over here and cross it. He said, y'all get God and our stuff. You get all the goodness of God, and then you come over here and rob us of the stuff we get. I sleep with her. Why are you trying to sleep with her? You the pastor. Why my baby look like you? Every time I look at the boy, I know he ain't none of mine. That boy look just like the pastor. And I'm too ashamed to tell somebody my wife been sleeping with the pastor and his wife. Just the low down stuff that God was watching. And it's attractive. Yet the Lord said, I testify against Israel, my people, my class, and against Judah. I got the upper and the lower, and ain't none of y'all no good. By all the prophets. He said, when I gave you a prophet, I was trying to give you somebody to tell you to come back to me. Baby, come home. Come back to me, baby. Come back home to me, baby. But you saw somebody that looked better than me? By all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn ye from the evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants and the prophets. You had people just telling you all the time, but you ain't pay them no dues. You know, that lady, she an old lady. I ain't as old as you think, but I might be older than as you think. But Jesus said, I got my eyes on that woman when she went up there and she might not have been shaking like this. Because we tend to think old is like this. She could have been sitting on the internet and Jesus said, I saw your channel and I saw that you put more than them all. You put in 2 mites because that's all you had. You didn't have the fancy building and you didn't have nobody walking you in and carrying your suitcase. But every time I looked up, you brought everything you had and you gave. And he said, I mocked that. '14th verse. However, you didn't pay it, notwithstanding. He said, I sent you prophets. I sent you the word. I gave you the word. I gave you the book, but you never read it. And then you tell people, well, I just get my word from the Lord. He said, I'm going to tell y'all something. Don't handle me like that. Handle me right. Handle me right. Don't touch that ark. Handle me right. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but harden their necks. Jesus said, I told you, my yoke is easy. So why you stiffen up? Harden their necks like to the neck of their fathers. Your daddy wasn't no good. And now you're just like daddy, like son. Father like son, like daddy, like father, like son, however the thing is. Like to the neck of your fathers that did not believe in the Lord their God. You don't believe this book. 2021, how you believe something you'll never read? And then how you believe something, you go, I ain't going to do that part right there because they tell you it just take too much time. That's just too much time to read that. I can't read all that. I'm reading the same thing. The same book that somebody said that never read to me in my life. And I ain't blaming nobody because I can read for myself. You harden your neck. Hoshea, yeah, don't call me. I'm online. You can't see, but you can hear. Okay, I'll put you on speaker. You can just go out and talk about you. You harden your neck of your fathers and that did not believe in the Lord their God. I'm your God. I'm your God. When I created you, I put everything I knew you were going to need, think about need, want to need, and more. And then you turn your back on me. Why you turn your back on me? Am I not good? Oh, I'm disciplined. Oh, that's the problem. And they rejected his statute. I said, I gave you a wife. You could have slept with her any time during the time that she had a right to sleep with you. Did you not know I was going to make younger, pretty women before you said I'd do it at all? You know there's going to be some better looking women than your wife. Your wife look just like you. I made y'all so close and y'all looking like now. You looking at yourself and you want to go see somebody else. Kind of crazy stuff. Anyway, my statues. And my statues been the same. I ain't none of the United States. Ain't none of you. I'm straight. I'm not those people that change laws when they feel like this one is outdated. I'm the same. I love you on the day that I married you, and I'm loving you on the day that I tell you to get away. I don't want to lose you forever, but I got to put you in the hand of the people that you want to be in the hand of, and then you're going to see if you'll call me then. I still want you. But right now, I got to judge you. And they rejected his statute and his covenant that he made with their fathers. He said, I talked to your daddy. Your daddy was supposed to talk to you. Your daddy did talk to you, but you wouldn't listen to you. You wouldn't even listen to your daddy. And his testimonies, which he testified against them. And they followed vanity. You followed something that wasn't about nothing. You follow something that ain't going to be nothing, then you ain't going to be about nothing either. You're a product of your what? Environment. And became vain and then thought you looked good. Yeah, you say, I don't eat no, I don't eat, I just eat vegetables. And then you sell your product and you get people hooked in the stuff, and then you know you had a tummy tuck. Just be lying. Them default people be lying. Became vain and went after the heathens that were around about, went to other companies, started ordering stuff. They ain't picked my word up since I wrote it. Went after heathens and were round about them concerning whom the Lord had charged them, and they should not do like them. He said, I ask you good not to be like them folk. And you gonna go after heathen? Do you understand what a heathen is? What's a heathen? I can't think of nothing but the word nothing. And they left all the commandments, all the things I said do. So that means you're doing everything I said do, not do. You doing it. You left all the commandments of the Lord, their God, your God. You left your God. And then you start serving what? And made them molten images, something that you could melt down. And then you shaped it into something that I told you to get milk from, 2 calves. Even 2 calves. I'm going to have me a gold calf here and a gold calf. This is what you did. Oh, Jeroboam said, oh, no, y'all ain't going back down there close to God because I know he attractive. So I'm going to give you something that look good like the gold and the silver and the TV and the internet and the remote control. You ain't going back out there where they serving the true and living God. I got your God. I got your God. God. I got your God. I got your God. I got a God on the left and a God on the right. Why you got to go down there? Stay in the sight of what I got. You ain't even got to walk long. Your God will be right there at your bed. Click. You can order them from Amazon. What size God you want? You had even 2 calves and made a grove. That means you got a whole lot of them. Who the pastor down there? Who the teacher down there? How many churches on that street right there? I got to get a count of all these churches. I can't just be letting y'all pop up because y'all got to pay me. I'm like the Assyrians. You got to pay me. You know, put the name up there and send your offering to me because I'll take it. I ain't getting y'all nothing. You better go in there and get them rich people, go in there and write you a check. He made grove and worship all the host of heavens and serve Baal. Your God is made out of something that flies land on. The word said the God of flies. And you eat from somebody that's serving you flies. And I'm God. And they caused their sons. What else you do? What are we doing in the United States today? And they caused their sons and their little girl daughters to pass through the fire. And use divination and enchantments, witchcraft, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. Now you legalize stuff that these people are doing. Now you got countries that legalize this. You kill your sons and your daughters. Legally. Make you feel good because it's a law that justifies. And God says, I'm trying to keep my wrath off you because I will consume you. But I promised Abraham. Every time I think about Abraham, I loosen my hand. Every time I think of David, I find hope. You provoke me. You make me want to cry. Son, get ready. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel. Brought you all the way out. I had a dream of you. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his... Get out of my sight. Get out of my sight. I wish I had somebody was standing with a microphone and tell the people you look just like 2021 on page 662 when I was talking to them low-down kings. You're standing in my way. My wrath. I'm stirred up. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. He said, what I did when I got through taking that 10 and that 2, I only separated you and I put you away. And I said, I'm going to keep Judah because I promised David it's going to always be somebody sitting on your throne. Because when I saw you sleep with a woman and kill her husband, my wrath was coming out, but you turned and said, I won't do it no more. And just those simple words, and you kept your word toward me. I'm preserving somebody that I can work myself through to finally show you who I am. That's how much I love you. Also, Judah kept not the commandments. The one I got right next door to me. Much as I love you, you still wouldn't keep the commandments of the Lord, their God. And that's where, Hoshea, you're back on the scene. But walked in the statutes of Israel, which they made. You lasted a little bit longer than the northern kingdom, southern kingdom. God has said, this is how I ended that thing. I'm going to sell you. I'm going to get you all out of my sight. And then the Lord goes on to this. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel. And I hurt you. I caused you to get hurt. Why? Because you don't understand what you had. It's the only thing that I can give. And you turn your back on all that I gave. So I'm going to let you go get in the hand of somebody that don't care nothing about you. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of the spoilers. If it's spoiled, it means they ain't no good. You drink spoiled milk. You want some spoiled. Now you getting ready to be under the people that are rotten. You left right for something rotten. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of the spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight. Get out of my sight. Why you got my name on your church and you smell just like these folk? Why you ain't telling people you know me? You know you're lying. For he rent Israel from the house of David. And they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So God has said, let me go back and tell you what I did and how we got here. I saw you acting crazy. So I took the 10 and I took you out of the house of David because David was over everybody. So God has said, I'm still going back in time to tell you how we got to this man being locked up. I showed you the beginning. Now I'm going all the way back in time to show you how you got here. I took David's, after Solomon, then Rehoboam, and then that's how we met Jeroboam. Let's talk about him. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drove Israel from following the Lord and made them sin, a great sin. All you got to do, Jeroboam said, just make sure when you come in here, you can't pass in my church until you show me this book. Don't you? I ain't say read it. I just said carry it. And if you do read it, just hurry up and get you somebody in clothes. Too much light in there. That's what Jeroboam did. He said, I still believe in God. The fact of God exists. I know he's good, but you just ain't got to read the word. Just memorize something. You got enough word and you just memorize that one scripture. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam. Jeroboam said, don't do it. You walk right behind him. Which he did. And they departed not from them. Jeroboam showed you silver, gold, all the stuff that's temporarily nothing. Even made you a cow. They said that's mean. That he said Jeroboam crazy enough to tell you these 2 cows right here is the one that brought you out of Egypt. Because he said y'all get back too close to that Judah's gonna turn your back on me, and I know you're gonna kill me because I'm just gonna make you happy. I got to make you shout. We got a guest soloist coming in. Draw your crowd. And let her sit on the front seat because she's a superstar. Now we let her sit up there because everybody gonna be wanting to have her autograph, so the ushers have to take up there in the front. Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all servants, the prophet. He said, I told you I'm gonna do this. Been telling you that. You ignoring the little girl that told her mistress, I know somebody that'll wash that leprosy off your husband. Had they not paid attention to that little girl, Naaman would have still been, everybody looking at him like, what's wrong with him? But then God gave him a youthful look. No skin, no leprosy. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. He said, that's how you got there. And the king of Assyria did, oh, I ain't done. God said, no, I'm testifying. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon. He said, I need some Babylonians. That's Daniel. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cutha and from, somebody play we ain't never heard of, Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria. In other words, y'all go take over the cities, that good land where they just came out of, that good soil. Instead of the children of Israel, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt there in the cities thereof. So he said, Samaria is growing. We're going to cut this our land now. You think? And so it was in the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord. They like, ain't nobody think about that God, them crazy people, they got all locked up. We think about that God. The Syrians have taken over that land. Is it Syrians or Assyrians? Assyrians. The big time folk. And so it was the people that would take a plane and just knock your building down while you sitting anyway. And so it was in the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord. They done came in, took the children of Israel land. Feared not the land that flowed with milk and honey. They came in there to take it. Feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. He said, you going to come in my land? You think you're going to come in and think that you own this? And I just put them folk out there and you come in and start in the same. Wherefore they spake to the king. Assyria said, the nations which you have removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of God of the land. Therefore he has sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of how God want things ran. He said, I used to live there. I'm a Samaritan. I know what it is. They said they're killing up some of them people up there so bad, them lions eat them up. He said, you need to do something. You got to do something. You got to send somebody over there. Then the king said, of Syria said, commander said, okay, I got you. Let me fix it. Okay, I got you. I heard you. Okay, bye. He said, carry there one of the priests whom you brought from there. Go get one of them preachers. And go back over to that land. Because I can't have my land over there. People, I got a name I got to keep. And they brought there and the lions. He said, go over there and get that preacher and take them over there and tell them, preach to them people. And let them go and dwell there and let them teach them the man of God of the land. Go over there and let them preach. Go over there and run a revival over there and get them lions. And make God tell them lions, get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. So they sent a preacher. I came over here to teach y'all the word of God. I heard lions been biting y'all. Excuse me. I came over here to show y'all what God will not have. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel and taught them how they should. This is how you should for the Lord. I'm going to give you my testimony, man. If y'all don't cut this crap out over here, I'm just trying to tell y'all. Give me a mic. I just want to give y'all my testimony. Obey God, keep his commandment. I'm just trying to let y'all know, because them lions, them things don't play. God don't play like that. You can't be doing that. You need to tear this stuff down. Don't do this and don't do that. and don't do this. And let me think, because I got to go back see what I know. I'm trying to tell y'all everything I know. Y'all better listen to me. They sent me back over here because I know you do not want. I'm just saying y'all better act right. Howbeit every nation, they heard that guy and went to church and they got there. So we feel God. Then we want them lines to back off. And the word says, however, every nation made their God. The black, the white, the Chinese, the Australian, the North Pole, the South Pole. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own. Went back home to I can't, I can't. I'm scared, but and put them on in the house of the high places which the Samaritans had made. These folk came in there not knowing nothing about God, couldn't speak the same language they could speak. And they said, nah, I don't want to serve your God. God said, I'm going to go get these folk that don't know me, bring them up in here. And I'm going to show them, don't come in here playing no crazy stuff. And they said, they got scared. And they feared, now they know that there is a God. But they didn't change their ways. The gods they had made, every nation in their cities were, let me read that right. However, every nation made gods, lowercase g, of their own. Show me a God. How many gods you need? How many churches yours need? How many choir robes y'all need to represent your God? How many collars? Okay. Every nation made God of their own. We do it like this, but we do it like this, but we do it like this, but we do it like this. We look like this, we do this. Every nation made their own God and put them in the houses of the high places which the Samaritans had made. Every nation in their cities where they dwelt. Assyrians put them folk in there and then they told them, set your own churches up and do what you normally do because the God, okay, we know he's real. At least we know that much. And the men of Babylon made Succoth Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nilgol, and the men of Hamath made Ashtama. All these different type of sexual things that draw you in. All this killing, we kill, and it's sex. It was just sex. Oh, Jesus. And the Avites made Nibhaz and Tarkat, and the Severites burnt their children in fire of Adulak, and I can't even pronounce these gods. The gods of Sepharad. All these had something to do with sex and killing and money. So they feared the Lord. Go get your Message Bible. It breaks it down. I started running out so you can see the kind of gods they were. So they feared the Lord. They understood, I never knew you, and I know you are not to be played. However, and made unto themselves of the lowest of them. We want a preacher, but don't let them be serious about that word. The word says, so they feared the Lord. And so we do know we need somebody to teach us right, just to remind us that we're wrong while I'm winking at the pastor's wife and I'm the deacon's wife, winking at the pastor's wife, all this stuff. So they feared the Lord and made unto themselves the lowest of them priests. He said, we don't want nobody with no lot of word now. We can't stand all them scriptures. Too many scriptures. We go to sleep on all them scriptures. We can't handle all them scriptures. We just started learning about your God. So they feared the Lord and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high place and sacrificed for them in the house of the high place. Oh, what? So they feared the Lord and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places, of the big different parking lot attendants, which sacrificed for them in the houses of the high place. I want to check that 32nd verse. It looked like they're saying we sacrifice for them. They feared the Lord and served their own gods. Now we came into the knowledge that there is a God that's beyond the God that we didn't know, that we knew. We knew that a can of spray was the God that we sprayed. I mean, we made gods out of light bulbs. We made gods out of Lysol. We made gods out of rags. But now we came in contact with the living God. But we still got to have the gods we used to. Lord, I know your word is right. But my mama was a Baptist, and my mama was a Methodist, and my mama was Episcopalian, and my mama was Catholic, and my mama was Church of God. My mama was Church of God in Christ. My mama was Church of No Christ. My mama was, we don't even believe in my mama didn't go nowhere. I'm used to, I got a habit. I just can't. She already got my plot. I'll be big right beside my mama. They feared the Lord and served their own gods after the manner of the nations whom they carried away from there. He said, we come in and pick up where y'all live. We just messed up and we don't want to change. Even unto this day, the day that this was written, unto this day they do after the former manner. Well, even unto 2021, I can't change. I've been like this too long. I'm a motherboard. I just, normally thing you get in the choir, and then when you get old, they're going to put a little tag on me and put me on the motherboard. I just can't change it. I look forward to that graduation and getting out the choir and then stop being an usher when I can't stand up that long. They sit me on that seat with their white dress on, put me some on there, and I sit there and I just go to sleep until I'm dead. Unto this day they do after the former manners. They fear not the Lord. You never, how do we fear God? You obey God. How do you obey God? You follow his instructions. Where's his instructions? I'm reading them. With whom the Lord had made a covenant. And wait a minute. Unto this day they do after the former manners, that they fear not the Lord, neither do they after his statutes. His statutes, I've been doing this a long time. I walk before you. The things that I do, they're right, they're correct. The books are balanced. Every time I owe no man nothing. I don't do nothing but get up every day. All I want to do is, who can I do something for you? Or after their ordinances, or after the law and the commandments which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel. That's how. Oh shit, you see what you did to get these folk down here like that? I had to go all the way back in this movie. Let them know. I'm almost at the end. You still there? Oh, he's snoring. Go sleep. With whom the Lord had made a covenant and charged them, saying, you shall not fear other gods. He said, don't do that. Nor bow yourselves to them. He said, don't owe them anything. Because just as sure as you make them your God, they're going to have you bowing every time. What do you mean by that? Are you to do no? When you bow, not only in the look of that, but when you bow, you owe them folks some. You got to pay them. They ain't cheap. You shall not fear other gods. Every time they go in there, you got to feel this out. Then we'll let you know whether or not your credit is worthy enough to get our stuff that'll kill you. Bow down to me. You shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourself. Don't fear somebody else got something that ain't no good, but I just got to have me a piece of it. I just want some of that. I know the Lord gonna forgive me. I know he gonna forgive me. Lord, forgive me. I was just thinking about it in my secret place in my mind. I ain't did it, Lord. I just thought about it. Jesus said it. Thinking about it. Why your clothes wet? Oh, Brenda, you just being too X-rated. No, I'm just telling you the truth. Because you get that stuff in your head, your body start going off. Just saying. He said, you shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourself to them, nor serve them. Don't take your whole life paying for something that God said you ain't never should have got involved with. Now you got to serve these people for the rest of your life. Folk don't play. These kings don't play. They're locked these pastor up and all the members too. They don't teach my word. I ain't moved, God said. I stayed in the same zip code. You just kept on finding cracks to go through the fence to finally, I just says, tear the fence down. Now, let the chips fall in where they may. Wherever they fall, let it fall. You don't want me. Go for it. You shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourself to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them. Oh, Lord, you done sacrifice your whole life to something that ain't about nothing. You got your children sacrificing, some going somewhere, ain't no word being taught. Oh, Lord. And then they love. Why y'all don't just make up your own? Why y'all got to have my name in that? Dude, why you got to carry my name in that kind of mess? Because you look good. You the advertisement. People like your name. He said, so you using me. But the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm, that's who to fear. And him shall you worship. That's who you talk about. How do I worship God? When I keep my word, I worship God. When I say I'm going to be there at 6 o'clock and I'm there, I worship God. When I read his word and I find out how to behave myself, I worship him. I fear God in the presence that I don't want to do this because I know I don't want to make you, you just taught me. So why would I act like I don't know what to do? He said, I said, fear me and me only shall you worship it. And to him shall you do work, sacrifice, your time spent. A whole day you done went to work and I ain't nowhere in it. Vain. And the statutes and the ordinance and the law and the commandments which he wrote for you, ye shall pay attention, observe. Pay attention to my word. Every comma, every period, every punctuation mark, every letter. Sometimes you're going to see a king in the northern kingdom named the same king in the southern kingdom. Your eyes got to do that and say, oh, he switched that. He said, no, I'm trying to get you to pay attention. I'm a writer. I know how to draw you in. And then I'm going to ask you one question one day. Tell me the difference between the Jeroboam of the northern kingdom and the Jeroboam of the southern kingdom. Got to know the answer. I'm just saying. And the statutes and the ordinances, that's if he need to ask you that. And the statutes and the ordinances of the law and the commandments which he wrote to you, you shall observe to do forevermore. What I said, I meant. You play kickball the same way you play at 60 years and you 75 years old. It's the same. First base, second base, third base kick, 3 kicks. You miss it, 3 fouls. I think you out. I mean, they may give you an extra kick with a foul. Whatever the game is, I used to play it. He said, you shall observe to do forevermore. Don't ever think that my word is going to ever be something that you can say, well, we going to do it. Don't be like what the man named yesterday, Ahaz. Don't go rearranging my word where the people not ready for that. That's for baby. God said, wait, let me tell you something. When I tell you to sit down and eat, I know how much the baby can eat. I know sometimes you got to chew the baby food and then take it out of your mouth and stick it in his mouth so he can swallow it. I don't need you rearranging my word. I don't need you touching it. But this is the first time coming to church. I know how to feed the first timer. I'm still really, be honest with you, you've been here 90 years and I'm still feeding you first time in food. Because you can't chew nothing else. You shall observe to do forevermore, and you shall not fear other gods. He said, don't be thinking about anything. Why you bound down to a tree? Go grow you a tree. Why you scared of a tree that you grew? Why you looking up at the star bound down to a star? Why you scared of that? That's star out there trying to help you see at night. And the covenant that I have made with you, you shall not forget. He said, the things that I told you, I promise you I'm going to do you right. Neither shall you fear other gods. He said, I can't get that out of my head. Please don't make this crazy stuff. But the Lord your God you shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the land of your enemies. Go on in there with your enemies. Go think about what I'm saying, because I want you back. You woke? How you doing? You ready? You want me to come and get you? You ain't ready yet? Howbeit they did not hearken. God is saying, I told you, your receipt that you got when you purchased from me, it didn't have an expiration date on it. But one day, I still want you as long as you live. It does not expire. Don't die like that. Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner. I just don't get y'all. I don't get you. So these nations feared the Lord. So these nations feared the Lord and served their graven. So these nations feared the Lord. They feared the Lord. They knew that he existed and served their graven images, both their children, you taught your babies to do it, and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they until this day. That's the 17th chapter. And this is the first chapter that God has said, next. I'll say this and I'm done. We come to the word of God. We get Jesus. And Jesus said, go back and find out my foundation. And watch how I got to where I got to. And then ask me, why do I love my Father? Why will I die? Because of what he went through? He is to die for. And I kid you not. I let y'all put me on that tree. And I let you do me the way you did me. My Father loves you. I'm coming back. I just want y'all to change. You ain't doing nothing no different. Look at the economy that we have. You got your gods, you got your Republicans, you got your, these folk will kill you over that. And they don't even understand. It's already been tested. And it failed. We need the word of God. We got to wake this book up and learn of him. I'm getting ready to eat out of chapter 18. Y'all have a good day. Bye.